And it was quite obvious that the way it worked, and that was the only time I ever seen in the 15 years I seen like, Vietnamese, and they didn't associate with us. They just done their own thing. It was like totally don't want to know anything about you kind of thing. So that kind of makes sense there.
I can remember I dealt with one guy. I used to come to Scotland, to the Scottish prison system quite a bit, and I found it very brutal.
Aye.
A very, very brutal system. The East Coast, not so much, but when you come over to the West Coast, you know, and like I said to you earlier in the conversation, I did quite a bit in Greenock prison, and the vibe was awful.
Aye.
And I couldn't trust the guards, just couldn't trust them. They would pass on information to other prisoners that they suspected, because we would go in as solicitors. We book legal visits, but they knew we were coppers. Aye. And they would tell one guy, bless him, he was giving information, and we went in as solicitors, and the guard had gone and told everyone, and you could actually hear them shouting grass while we was interviewing him.
Aye.
And the moment he left the cell, within minutes they'd held him down and stamped on his arm and broke his arm.
A lot of people, when we were in prison, because obviously I've got so many great friends for prison, and there's a lot of good guys in prison. And I know there's a lot of bad guys, you know what I mean, but there's a lot of good guys who have just got really bad background stories, and I always kind of say that. Some of the best people I've met were through prison, but you did used to see some things when big cases were getting on, people would get called up to their lawyers, and nobody was allowed to go, and it was, do you know what I mean? So they made it quite obvious.
It was obvious, like, and it's a very closed environment. There's not much you can do, and people want out, and they're willing to trade. Aye. And we was always out offering that trade.
Aye.
And you'd say to people, look, here's my number. Yeah, you can F off, and you can this. And a month later, you get a call, come and see me. Aye. Come and see me. And we had a rule that the tail must never wag the dog. So you was always in control. But, you know, that was corruptible as well, because...
do you know what I don't like, John? I don't like the fact that the police would allow a certain gang to operate, right?
And that was legitimate as well. See what you do, Sean? You'd say, right, the reasons for you doing it, right? And one might be they've gone to God. It's a legitimate reason. They want redemption. Okay, you can deal with that. One that you know they want a reduction in their sentence,